For some of you, this is going to feel like a little bit of review, but hopefully you'll find some new tips and tricks along the way. And for some of you, this may be really new. And if it does feel a little overwhelming, don't worry. I am happy to do another session. I do love Desmos. The Google Classroom I just created with basically all the things that I thought would be helpful. Also, if you go to the classwork, you can see that I've kind of categorized them. The 2 instructional videos at the bottom, hopefully you've watched the teacher introduction video that just shows you how to get an account. And then the student introduction video, you're welcome to use that video in your own Google Classroom. Any questions about the introductory video or the student introductory video? Awesome. The new information here, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but what they've added here is geometry Desmos. This was added most recently, all of this for COVID-19. And so it's tools that are very similar to GeoGebra. This one is just really for fun. These 2 guys came together and took old school retro video games and took content and kind of paired them together to make some fun games for students to play. Of course, we've got the Twitter updates. I know not all of you love Twitter as much as I do, but it really is the fastest way to get their new information. And this is the best way to provide them feedback. Literally, I've seen teachers give feedback on Twitter, and then the next day they give feedback that says, okay, we fixed it, we've added that. The best example of that is in the e-learning health. They added a separate piece of their website with what they've added for the coronavirus. And this updates literally daily, hourly. They added this feature right here where you can add co-teachers to your class. It was just literally a teacher on Twitter saying, I would love for my co-teacher to be able to be in the class. And they said, hold on, we'll work on it. And then they did it. So when you get a chance, those tools are just good ones to go back to, because obviously I won't be able to go through all the features that there are. Well, we're going to spend our time in teacher.desmos.com. As you do assignments, those assignments will be saved in your history over here. You can see my history. They never go away. I can go back and I can look at kids' work from 2016. Collections is kind of new. Yours will be empty if you go in. What I did was I took your feedback from your form and just kind of added the collections of the classes that most of you teach. There's also all these featured collections on the side. Here you could actually click, okay, I'm in quadratics. I click quadratics, and then they tell me in order which ones I would assign to students during a normal progression. I'm going to go through like a few of my very favorite activities. This is hands down my favorite activity that they have. It's called Marble Slides. This is going to work for 8th grade, Algebra 1, Algebra 2. What you're going to do is if you want to preview it, you can just look through these slides to see what it would look like without actually creating a class code. But when you're ready, just press Create Class Code. And again, this is in that tutorial for you. Press View Dashboard. So I'm going to go to Student View so you can see what it would look like as a student. For Marble Slides in particular, they're trying to catch all the stars. And so they just press Launch. And this one's already done for you so that you can see what you're trying to do. When they get to some more difficult slides, you can kind of feel like, oh gosh, I'm not really sure. That's okay, because they give you teacher moves down here. And then they also give you sample responses. I also want to look at the teacher side. So you can see the summary. The check marks means that they did the slides, and then these would mean that they didn't. And these would mean that they're incorrect. Also here you can see each kid's for each slide. You could pull them up on the screen, and you don't want their name to show up, you can just press anonymize and it will change their names, and they'll know what their names are on their screen. But when you pull it up on your classroom screen, they won't have to feel embarrassed or anything like that. Okay, I see some comments about loving Polygraph. I think Polygraph is probably the most fun Desmos that there is. Polygraph is literally the game Guess Who. Basically, you're not going to be able to see what theirs looks like, but here's some of the things that they ask each other. They have to ask each other yes and no questions. One person becomes the picker, one person becomes the guesser. And the idea is that you finally get to figuring out what shape it is that you chose. I may not be able to give you your coffee coupon that I promised for the 2019-20 school year, but maybe the 2021 school year. If you really don't mind, if you would just go into the Google Classroom, you'll see a Desmos PD exit survey. It's only a few questions. You'll just fill out the survey. It will give me a better idea of if we need another session or what the session would be about. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.